Welcome, my people. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Today I had it off in the morning, and you saw I was somewhere riding, going to check some things. And everything is okay. Everything is okay. There is only some little 1, 2, 3 things that I saw are not going well, but everything is going so fine. Everything is going so fine, and we thank God for everything. So we today we are starting another one. We are starting we are continuing. We are continuing with another session. We are continuing with another session that is very important. Extrinsic pathway. Hey. Yeah. Let's remind ourselves about what we did yesterday. What did we do yesterday? What did we do yesterday, my friend? What did we do yesterday? We started. We went through the other stage that is called intrinsic pathway. That is called intrinsic pathway. So the intrinsic pathway is one of the ways that people do what? Okay, just a minute. That's some other time. The extrinsic pathway is one of the ways that people stop bleeding. People stop bleeding because if you bleed so much, you will die. So your body has a way of stopping the bleeding, even internal bleeding. Now it becomes so fatal when it is happening inside your body, but when it is becoming outside the skin, it is helpful. You know, when you are bleeding inside and the coagulation pathway is triggered, what happens? You start forming clots inside your body. So it's not good. You have to go for surgeries. That's why most of the internal bleeding, people go for surgeries. And yes, Uncle is here. Welcome, Jamaican Uncle. Always my brethren. Uncle is always my brethren. If you are watching and you are here watching me, this is Benjamin the Wise Guy. Benjamin the Wise Guy is a doctor and from Africa, Kenya. When I'm doing some lectures, I usually come live and help people to understand what they may be confused of. So let's continue about these topics. What does these topics come? How does they come? We have 3 ways. We talked about 3 ways. We talked about 3 ways. There's one. We talked about 3 ways that your body stops bleeding, that your body stops you from bleeding. Injured place stops you from bleeding to death. One is intrinsic pathway, inside, what happens inside, and then the clotting cascade comes. The other one is extrinsic, but we have the common pathway that we talked about. So welcome, my friends. Who is watching? Anyone who is watching, everyone, please don't just swipe. Subscribe to the channel. If you are watching, subscribe to the channel, and also like the video. Stay around and listen to what we do. It may be helpful for you or someone else. So to go through the videos that we have done, also it may be helpful. So welcome everyone who is watching to my channel, and come to the chat. Tell us where you are watching from. Come to the chat. Tell us, I'm watching you from Kenya. I'm watching you from Uganda. I'm watching you from the US. I'm watching you from Zimbabwe, Asia, Malaysia, all those places. Tell us where you are watching from, my friends. Tell us where you are watching from. Today we are continuing with a topic that is interesting topic, an interesting topic. Yesterday, if you cut yourself, how does your body stop you from bleeding? How does your body make you not to bleed to death? You see, how? Those are the things that we need to ask ourselves. Those are the things that we need to ask ourselves. But we are right about now, what we are doing, we are answering them. So you who is watching right now, please don't just watch it. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Let me get to know what you are, where you are watching from. Where you are watching from, tell us. Come to Celine, Celine Isaac. Celine Isaac, welcome to the channel. Where are you watching from, Celine? Hello, Celine Dion. Your name sounds like Celine Dion, the one who sang, "Oh, I'm your lady, and you are my man. Wherever you reach for me, I'll do whatever I can. I've been waiting for so long." Welcome, my people. Today we have Celine Dion in the chat. Celine Dion. Celine Isaac. Celine Isaac, which country are you coming from? Tell us, interact with the people that are here, and let's do you want money? Celine, I want people to have knowledge about medicine. Money comes after, but if someone wants to do it, it's okay. Money comes after. Money, at times when you realize. Greetings to you, Celine Isaac. Celine Isaac, don't talk about money for now. Let's sit around and let's interact. Let's get to know medical knowledge. You see, let's get to know about medical knowledge. I'm in Kenya, of course. I live in Kenya, Nairobi. I'm a doctor from Kenya, Nairobi. Where are you from, Celine Dion? Celine Dion is going directly. Do you want money? How much do you need? No, I don't need your money, Celine Dion. Celine Isaac, I don't need your money. Just sit around, let's interact and let's interact, Celine. About money, put it aside first. Put that aside. Let's understand how your body stops bleeding, helping you from death. You get, Celine Dion. Let's understand medical issues. If you have any question about any medical thing, let's talk about it. Nimal, I read that there is Ebola epidemic in Africa. Yes, Kenya is safe. We talked Nirmal, we talked about Ebola. Check my video. There was a time we talked about Ebola. And Kenya is safe. I explained all how Ebola comes and how Ebola. Thanks, Celine Isaac. Where are you from, Celine Isaac? Celine Isaac is asking me if I need money, but I have told Celine Isaac, stay around, listen to what is there, and then everything afterward. Nimal, please subscribe. Subscribe and sit around, double tap your screen, when you like, more people come in. So today we are talking about another thing. Yesterday we talked about how your body stops you from bleeding to death. Today, which flag? That flag is from which country, Celine Isaac? Please remind me. Okay. Today we are talking, yesterday we talked about the intrinsic pathway. You remember them? You remember the factors that we talked about. Where is that? We talked about factor 12, factor 12A, factor 11, and then we jumped the Stuart factor, and then we went to factor 9. Factor 9A activates factor 3, calcium, and platelets. That's when Stuart factor comes in, and then we go to prothrombin activating thrombin, and then it goes to fibrinogen activating fibrin, and then you form a clot. Now, today we are having another session. Check, I can't read that. What is that? Take it. Nirmal, thanks you for coming in. Please subscribe. If you are watching, subscribe to the channel. Let's have you around. Let's interact with you. If you have any problem medically, let's connect. Celine Dion, thanks for Celine Dion. Celine Isaac. You know, you keep me confused. I remember that song that I like singing. 'Cause I'm your lady and you are my man. Say, wherever you reach for me, I'll do whatever I can. I've been waiting for so long. That is Celine Dion, but today we have Celine Isaac. Celine Isaac, we have more friends here and we'll interact with them. So stay around, Nimal, stay around. Let me get to know what you would like to know. So today we have another one which is called extrinsic pathway. Nice singing. Celine, see, I like singing. Check my shorts, you'll see me more singing. And feel good evening. We have sessions that are called Feel Good Evening. I sing a lot. The extrinsic pathway is one of the major pathways that initiate the coagulation cascade, blood clotting. Blood clotting is initiated. Clotting inside your body is fatal, but clotting outside your body is good because it will make you not to bleed to death. It is triggered by tissue injury and the first pathway for clotting formation. So when you have tissue injury, when you've cut yourself, nice. When you've cut yourself and you're bleeding, that is a trigger. Damaged tissue exposes tissue factor. That is factor 3. And you remember the extrinsic factor, we start with Hegman's factor, tissue factor 12. You know, love. I see love. Celine, you like me singing. Everyone likes when I'm singing. I see love from a distance, coming much closer. No, we're gonna reign forever. For those who love reggae, I see love from a distance, coming much closer. No, it's gonna rain forever. See love from a distance. Now let's continue. Now, when you are cut, the damaged tissues. This is the extrinsic pathway, the second pathway now. The damaged tissues, what they do, they expose something that is called tissue factor 3. Tissue factor 3, which is normally not in contact with blood. It is normally not in contact with blood. Tissue factor 3 is normally not in contact with blood. So the main steps of the extrinsic pathway is tissue factor 3 starts. And you know, when I talk about tissue factors, you remember I'm saying they are the proteins. Proteins that help you. Thanks Celine for subscription. Thanks a lot. And sit around and watch videos. And share the videos of course. Share the videos of course. Share the videos. Now we continue. Now, main steps of the tissue factor is tissue factor is exposed when you cut or you are bleeding. Tissue factor 3 is exposed. Tissue factor binds with factor 7 in the presence of calcium. So, for what is factor 7? Let's see tissue factors of I'm better than, you're better than what? Tell me, Celine, I am sick. What's happening? Why are you sick? What is happening? Where are you suffering? Where are you suffering, my friend? Where are you suffering? What's up, Celine? What's up? Nirmal was here. Nirmal was here. Now, factor 7. What is a proconvertin? Onik, doctor. I'm fine, Onik. You've come early today. But Onik, don't go away. You always come early and then you go away. Don't go away. Now, when you don't understand something, I usually say, let's Onik, we have a friend on the today, a new friend that is called Celine Isaac from I don't know that flag. I have not yet. Onik, we have a new friend. Welcome our new friend. Welcome our new friend. Now, tissue factor 7, which is proconvertin, becomes activated. Factor 7A. All these tissues that these proteins that I'm talking about, if they don't have a A, you just know they are not active. They will just continue going through your body, and they are not. Onyx here. Onyx, welcome Celine Isaac. Welcome Celine Isaac. Tell Celine Isaac to be free here and ask any medical question. But she's saying she's sick, and I've sung a song for her, for Celine Dion. She has told me to give a song for love. So I've said, I see love from a distance, coming much closer. No, it's gonna rain forever. That is, go and find that song. So if you are new to the channel and you are watching, please subscribe and like. We are talking about medical issues. Today we are talking about extrinsic pathway. So ask any question, come to the chat, ask any question. Let's interact where you are. Let's interact. Let's get to know what you are feeling about these talks. I know some of you have gone through this video. So welcome, my friend. I'm going to invite you. Where are you going to invite me, Celine Isaac? Tell me where you are going to invite me. So welcome. I'm subscribing and like. Thanks. Anyone who is watching and you are new, please don't just watch silently. Come, let's talk. Let's chat at the. Let's have a chat at the. Please support Scholastica Ogalo. What is Scholastica having? Onik, I've seen you from yesterday posting that. What is Scholastica having? Onik, posting such kind of message on someone platform, it sometimes brings confusion. So I will ask you not to post, because it can bring confusions. Yeah. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the chat. Let's continue. Onik here, Celine in the house, Jamaican uncle here also, and we are doing good. So tissue factor, we have said tissue factor 7 is activated. Tissue factor 3, sorry, damaged tissues, exposed tissue factor 3, which is tissue factor. Tissue factor exposed. Oh, okay. But it's good you post on her account, not other people's account. It can bring problems. In my channel, I don't like begging. It's not good for me. I don't like this begging. Maybe you post the link, Onik. Maybe you post the link of that lady so that people can follow her and support her on the channel. So for this one, please, I will not accept, because I'm not the one who, this is my channel, and I'm not the one who is. The best thing is to post. the best thing is to post her link, YouTube link, and tell people to go and support her. You see, let the people go and support her, but not to post bank account. Bank account can bring problems. We have seen it online on it. Some people having problems with this. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's continue with the topic. And the topic says, do you have cancer? Who has cancer? No, I don't have cancer. I don't have cancer. Life with the Russells. Welcome to the platform. So today we are doing extrinsic pathway. So tissue factor is called factor 3. When you cut yourself, it becomes active tissue factor 3A. Factor 3A. And when it is coming active to tissue factor 3A, what happens? Tissue factor complex activates factor 10. Factor 10. This is the shortest. This is the shortest pathway that you can ever have. The longest pathway of blood clotting is the intrinsic pathway, where you start with factor 12, Eggman's factor, activating factor 10, then factor 10 jumps to factor 9, then factor 9 joins anti-hemophilia factor 8, calcium and platelets, and then those are the ones which activate factor, Stuart factor, which is 10. Now this one, what's your name? I already said it early. I'm Dr. Ben. Now, this one is the shortest way. This one is the shortest way. Your body helps you not to bleed continuously, so that life with the Russells. Welcome, life with the Russells. I've seen you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. And if you have any medical question, please come on and ask that question. Please come and ask the question. Don't leave without saying hi. Don't leave without saying hi. Don't leave without saying hi. So we are continuing with the talk. Now, tissue factor complex activates factor 10, the Stuart factor. The Stuart factor, which is the main factor to 10A. You know, there is something called the Stuart factor, which activates something that is called prothrombin. So prothrombin is activated. That is factor what? Prothrombin is factor 2. Yeah? So factor 2 is the one which is activated. Factor 2 is the one which is activating prothrombin. Then prothrombin then is converted to thrombin. And thrombin is the main thing that helps when it comes to forming the mesh of the clot, so that you cannot bleed. So thrombin converts fibrinogen to fibrin. That is from Stuart factor, with one person watching you, and it's me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the Celine Isaac. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being around. You are my new friend. You are my new friend. Welcome. So when they convert to fibrin to fibrinogen, what happens? When it converts fibrin to fibrinogen, what happens is you start having a clot, and the clot is one which makes you to stop bleeding. So that is how clots are formed in your body. That is how clots are formed in your body. Very interesting. You see, some things are interesting, right? Very interesting. You start from injuring yourself, you end up having the clot, and then the clot stops you from bleeding. Factor 10A enters common pathway. The common pathway. Let's talk about common pathway, because we have said this is the very shortest Yes, I'm your friend too. Thanks. Thanks. Let's talk about the common pathway. Hey, Leila in the house. Leila, how are you doing? Hope you are doing good. Hope you are doing fine where you are. Today, it's a very short session. A very short session. But we have so many things to discuss. When you have cut yourself, there is something that is produced from the liver. Niko poa. How about you? I'm fine. Today I was going to do I was going to do cleanliness, and I found so many things. In the morning I had a day off. And you have seen I was driving to my villa somewhere, or mansion. I don't know how I can call it, a villa or mansion. So I went to do some cleanliness, and I found some things are totally messed. If you are not around where your house, some things totally go wrong. But we have sorted them. And uncle, your plant that you grew, I added it manure, and it's growing so well. You'll see it. So we have a new friend. 2 person is watching you. Leila, Celine Dion. We have Celine Dion in the house, and Celine Dion is reminding me how many people are watching me. Yeah. So yesterday we talked about watching you from United of Ngong. Yesterday we talked about the cascade of coagulation, how your body stops you from bleeding to death. Factor 12, Edwards factor, and we went to factor 10. Oh, you are from the US. Nice one. Yeah. We talked about them. We talked about factor 9, Christmas factor, and all those, we talked about them. So today we are talking about the extrinsic factor. Yesterday it was intrinsic, inside your body. What happens inside your body to help you not to bleed to death? So there is this one that is called extrinsic pathway, outside your body. Now you have cut yourself. After you have cut yourself, what happens after you have cut yourself? There is tissue factor 3. You produce something called tissue factor 3, and then tissue factor 3 binds to factor 7. What is factor 7? You remember factor 7? Factor 7, proconvertin, which is converted to factor 7A. Now, factor 7A goes to STRAT factor. Now activates the STRAT factor. Now the STRAT factor is the one which comes to the common pathway. Let's see what the common pathway tells us. What is the common pathway? The common pathway. Anyone with a question today? Anyone feeling like you have a question to the doctor? Anyone? I just be mine. Nowadays I'm getting visitors. Yesterday we had 2 onyx. Our onyx and our, what does prothrombin time does? Oh, life with the Russells. I think you did not watch yesterday's video. I explained about prothrombin time. Now we have today we have done something that is called extrinsic pathway, the shortest outside. You cut yourself, tissue factor is produced. What is with the tissue factor? Wait a minute. Someone is telling me something here. Tissue factor is produced. When tissue factor is produced, you do what? Now let me answer that question of life with the prothrombin time. The common pathway is like this. The STRAT factor the STRAT factor, factor 10, is the determining factor. Extrinsic pathway and intrinsic pathway always activate the STRAT factor. Always. So this STRAT factor is the one which will lead us to the common pathway for clotting, prothrombin activation. So STRAT factor A activates prothrombin, and then when this one is activated, it produces thrombin. So thrombin is the one which will activate fibrinogen, then fibrinogen activates fibrin. So prothrombin time means it is a lab test that we check. What if this prothrombin takes a long time to activate thrombin 2A? This person will bleed to death. That's why when you are bleeding and you go to a hospital, the doctor will, you are massively bleeding and you are not even stopping. The doctor will tell the lab technicians, the lab crew, please do prothrombin time, we see. Because if this one takes so long to be converted to thrombin, fibrin and fibrinogen will not be there. So you will not have the mesh wire, which is fibrin. You will not have the mesh wire. If this one takes so long, you will not have fibrin. So we check on prothrombin time when it comes to clotting disorders. Clotting disorders are disorders that make you, when you are cut or injured, it takes so long to stop. The determining factors are these factors that I've talked about. The factors that I've talked about, the 13 factors, like the STRAT factor, the Hegman's factor, calcium is a factor 4. You see, fibrinogen, which is factor 1. And you know, fibrinogen is the one which changes to fibrin. And what converts fibrinogen to fibrin? The conversion of prothrombin to thrombin activates fibrinogen to be a mesh wire. I hope, Life with the Russells, you are here and you are listening about what I'm saying, because it's important to you. So the prothrombin time also only checks how long the blood takes to clot through the extrinsic and the common coagulation pathway. Because both ways, intrinsic inside from Hegman's factor to the STRAT factor, from the other one, tissue factor, factor 3. Factor 3 is called tissue factor, right? Tissue factor 2, which goes to be converted into, when you cut yourself, this is the extrinsic factor. It produces tissue factors, which is converted to tissue factor A, which converts factor 7, which is called proconvertin. Convertin directly activates the STRAT factor. You see, all them come to the STRAT factor. And then STRAT factor is changed by these two things to something that is called STRAT factor A, STRAT factor 10. So STRAT factor A converts prothrombin. I said yesterday, STRAT factor A is the king who is awakened, but STRAT factor is sleeping in blood. So the time it takes to convert, you know, you can go to a field of war and you are trying to awaken your soldiers and they are sleeping. So they take so long without giving an action. So the soldiers here, the king is STRAT factor. The active king is the STRAT factor A. So when the STRAT factor A is active king, when telling the other, okay, please take a picture next time and send it to me, Dr. Benjamin. Oh, nice. I have it. I will send. Okay, so Okay. This is this. Listen. Is life with the Russells. Listen. Stuart Factor has awakened and is telling the soldiers, "Wait now. Go and protect the borders. We don't lose our resources. The blood is the resource." Stuart Factor A is the one which awakens prothrombin. So if it takes slow to awaken prothrombin to thrombin, fibrinogen and the clot will not form. So you will continuously go bleeding. So Life with the Russell says, okay, so is it a basic test to measure the extrinsic pathway? No, it is a test to measure both the extrinsic and the intrinsic. Because if prothrombin takes so a long time to be activated, this person will bleed a lot. So both the intrinsic and the extrinsic, because both of them goes to activate Stuart factor to Stuart factor A, so that it can activate prothrombin type. So you are right, extrinsic pathway, but add their intrinsic pathway. So if you come to a hospital and a woman is bleeding, or if I go to a ward and I find a woman who is bleeding a lot, I tell them, please do prothrombin type. I find that it is taking so long to turn to thrombin. I know this person has a problem. Maybe this person has a problem in the other three. In the extrinsic pathway, we have said you start with the Stuart factor. But in the intrinsic pathway, we start with Heckman's factor. But we go up to something that is called, there are three things that meet so that the extrinsic pathway is done. Calcium is needed, platelets are needed, and factor 8, hemophilia, anti-hemophilia A. So I'll check, if prothrombin time is so long, I'll have to go and check how much platelets that this person has. How much calcium does this person have? How much anti-hemophilia A does this person have? These are proteins that you have in your body. If I see that all the you have are normal, I'll check now that is the intrinsic pathway. I'll have to go and check the other pathway, the extrinsic pathway. Tissue factor, how much do you have? Let's go to factor 7, and we have said factor 7 is proconvertin, which is stable factor. You see how we check problems. But when you see that a person has a problem with bleeding, you have always seen there are some people in their families that they have bleeding complications, the hemophilia A and hemophilia B. It means genetically the proteins that are called anti-hemophilia A factor 8 and anti-hemophilia B factor 9, they have a problem. You see, they have a problem. This is according to intrinsic pathway. So if you have a problem with this, you will not activate the Stuart factor, which is 10, because it is the main thing. You have to activate the Stuart factor so that prothrombin can be activated to thrombin, which is the common pathway. Then the fibrinogen can form a mesh wire, which is fibrin. So people with problems with anti-hemophilia, those diseases, you hear people saying he has bleeding complication, which is called hemophilia. It is because they have in intrinsic pathway, the first one we discussed, they have anti-hemophilia problem. Anti-hemophilia means anti-bleeding. Anti-hemophilia means anti-bleeding, which combines with calcium and platelets, so that they can activate the Stuart factor to start to go to Stuart factor A. which activate prothrombin to thrombin. You see? So this is how we get how a person has bleeding problem. How a person has bleeding problem. If one factor, and you know all these factors are produced in your liver. All of these factors are produced in your liver. So if one factor has a problem, you'll get to understand that the other factor will not be activated. And you have seen the shortest pathway is the STRAT factor. The STRAT factor starts from tissue factor, factor 3. Then after factor 3, we go to proconvertin, which is factor 7. And then immediately it goes to convert the STRAT factor 10. And then the common pathway, which is prothrombin to thrombin, then fibrin to fibrinogen. Understand? That is so nice. That is so nice. Anyone with any question? Anyone with any question, my friends? If you have any question, I can see the people that are in the house, like Jamaican Uncle, Life with the Russells, all of you, Layla, and anyone who, thanks for watching and coming through. I know these things are, understanding them, sometimes they have a problem. Understanding these things, sometimes it's problematic, but no. So let's continue understanding these things. Let's continue understanding these things. And if you have a question, let's ask. Let's ask if you have a question. I'm going through some questions that some people are started sending in email. Some good questions. And people are sending in my email address. So welcome everyone. I can see you're still watching. So that is how your blood stops you from bleeding. How your blood stops bleeding. And there are some things that happens in your body of a person that before I continue, if you are watching and you have a question, please don't fail to ask about these problems. Life with the Russells has asked about prothrombin type. I've asked about prothrombin type. Let's see the tests, laboratory tests that are done. In bleeding disorders. Let's see the tests that are done in bleeding disorders, because now we have known the pathway, the extrinsic and the extrinsic and the intrinsic. So when we come and talk about these tests that are done in bleeding disorders, we will understand now better, because we have talked about the normal. So the tests and what is in a person will lead us to know people bleed. You know, laboratory tests that you do in a hospital, they are just things that will help a doctor to know why you are having a problem. So in bleeding disorders, the first thing we do is prothrombin type. It helps us because both the extrinsic pathway and the pathway that we have talked about today, they lead to the same STRAT factor, factor 10, and then it activates prothrombin. So anyone who is new and you are watching Dr. Benjamin today, and Dr. Benjamin will take you to learning. Nowadays we are learning so complicated. I'm making complicated things to be normal, to sound normal. I'm making complicated things to sound normal. So if you are here and you have a question about anything, any medical thing, I'm here for you. And just ask. I want to go through some tests that are done in a laboratory. Let me see this test. in a laboratory. Just a minute, my guys. My network is bringing some issues. Yeah. Okay. I'm back. And you see. I am what is the difference between deep vein thrombosis and extrinsic versus extrinsic? The difference between DVT. Deep vein thrombosis is a general term. DVT, deep vein thrombosis. You see, how can I explain it in a good simple way? Deep vein thrombosis, DVT, deep vein thrombi. A thrombi is something that has coagulated. It may be blood, it may be fat tissue, it may be cholesterol, that is something that has come inside your blood vessel, and it has coagulated. Ayeska skill. Ayeska, hi, welcome. Ayeska, welcome to the chat. I'm answering live with the Russell. If something comes and clots inside you, and clots, not clots. Clots are for blood clots. If something comes inside your blood and clogs, it may be what? Cholesterol, fat, or it may be blood. And then we do an ultrasound, something called Doppler's ultrasound. We see that something inside the vein has clogged and the blood is not passing well. We call it deep vein thrombosis. But if the extrinsic pathway is outside the tissue, like the skin, you are injured, then tissue factor 2 is activated. Tissue factor 2 is activated when you are injured, and it is activated to activate another tissue factor, proconvertin. Proconvertin is tissue factor 7. Thanks, Jamaican uncle. So the difference between deep vein thrombosis and extrinsic pathway is DVT, deep vein thrombosis, is a problem entailing your veins clogging, and extrinsic pathway is a way your body helps you to stop from bleeding to death when you are injured. Hope I've explained it in a better way. That is for life with the Russells. So that is what happens. And I want people to know that both the extrinsic and the intrinsic, inside is intrinsic, extrinsic is outside. Both of them activate something it's called factor 10. So factor 10 is the one which activates the common pathway, which is prothrombin 2, thrombin, fibrin 2, making the clot itself, which is fibrinogen, making the clot itself, which is fibrin. You see? So that is it, guys. Let's talk about some things here. Let's talk about the platelets. Platelets, this check the number of functions of the platelets. First stage of clotting. Platelets counts. This one you can do it. You have seen people doing something that is called full hemogram. Hillary Yegon is here. I can see you. My network has been having some issues, Hillary. But I'm on the tests that are done. Tests that are done when you have bleeding complications. Sometimes when you have bleeding complications, there are some tests that we can do to see what is the problem. So one of the tests is called platelet counts, and this one is seen in blood, full hemogram. I know that is something that people know, full hemogram. Tell how many platelets are present. And you saw in the intrinsic pathway, if there is no platelet with factor, if you don't have platelets joining with factor 8, hemophilia A, and coming to join with calcium, factor 4, you will continuously bleed. So we check the platelet count because it's a factor in the coagulation pathway. So you go to a hospital, a doctor says, please do a full hemogram to this patient. The doctor means he wants to see if you have that factor. If you have that factor in your body, that helps you not to bleed continuously. Helps you not to bleed continuously. So anyone with any question as you come in, I know the net has been disturbing and people have gone because of network, but it's okay. I'll continue the rewatch. Want to check something here. So platelets is a very important factor. Calcium. Another thing is liver function. Liver function is a very important thing because most of these factors that we are talking about, prothrombin, thrombin, convertin, most of these are produced in connected. Something here is showing me. Okay. Okay, I've seen that. Most of these things are produced in the liver. The proteins that help you to stop bleeding, they are produced in the liver. So if you have a liver disease, thanks a lot, Yegon. Today I'm talking so slowly. I've been weeding. Check the video in the morning. I went to do some manual work. Hey, no joke. I went to do so. I'm a bit, you understand. Yeah. So, if you have liver disease, you have a problem. You have a problem because most of these proteins will not. Where is this? Most of these proteins that you need will not be. I'm looking for something. Wait, guys, I'm looking for something and I'm not seeing it. Okay. This one. Okay. A minute. Oh, I've seen it. Sometimes when you're used to something, it can make you have some. This one, yes, I'm adding that. When you have liver disease, you will not produce these factors well. So you may bleed, and bleed. You see? So have you ever met someone who has bleeding complications? If you have ever met someone who has bleeding complications, just know when you come to a hospital, we can do even liver function test to see if you are having issues in production of these common things. Platelets function test. We check on your platelets, how they function. It is called PFA. If you have ever gone to hospital and you have seen PFA 100 aggregation test, checks if platelets work properly. So if platelets don't bind to calcium and anti-hemophilia A, that is factor 8, you will not stop bleeding. There is something called coagulation tests, like the one that Life with the Russells has asked, prothrombin time. It's very important. Prothrombin time is very important. Why? That it tests the extrinsic plus common pathway. Looks mainly for factor 7. And what is factor 7? Factor 7 is stable factor converting. You see, that is prothrombin time. If prothrombin is taking so long to be activated, you will bleed, because it's the one which activates thrombin, and thrombin activates fibrinogen, forming a mesh wire. There is something called International Normalization Rate, INR, standardization prothrombin time, used to monitor warfarin. So when you are being given warfarin, this blood clotting, like people who are using aspirin, warfarin, those tablets to make your blood thin, they are called blood thinners. You have to do INR to check if your time of clotting is so long or so short. You get? It's very important to check these factors. There is something called thrombin time. Check conversion of fibrinogen. Fibrin. It checks the function of fibrinogen. So, my friends, if you are coming now and you have a question about bleeding disorders, or you have met someone who bleeds easily, ask that question. Let me answer you that question that you have. That person that bleeds so easily, if this person is cut, is bleeding, today I'll do these things. The lab tests, I'll do them at night at 10. So if you have a question about the bleeding, you will come at 10 and I'll answer you the question that you've been having. You see, it's very important to know these things. So for now, I'll give 3 minutes for anyone who has a question. 3 minutes for anyone who has a question, so that we can meet later. Today, oh wow, someone has told me, thank you, that is building a legacy. Thank you so much for the effort and energy you put into health and wellness. Thank you a lot. Building legacy, thank you a lot. Well, let me check. Okay, nice. 2 minutes to go. If anyone comes in and has a question, can come and ask any question you have. 2 minutes to go. Let me check something here. Yes, that has been a good session. I'm just having less than a minute. I got having less than a minute to go. Let me go to yes, that is it. Just less than a minute I go. So if anyone comes in with any question, you can watch me at 10. You can watch me at 10. At 10 I will be in the kitchen, Dr. Ben. Yes, no worries. I'm just having a minute to go, so that at 10 we can go through the laboratory tests that are done when someone has this problem. when someone has these problems. T Beauty today has come so late. T Beauty, I'm just ending and you are just coming. Welcome to the platform, but thanks for being here. Hit the like button and then we can meet at 10 to do some. We can meet at 10. But if anyone has any question about bleeding, T Beauty, when are you coming in Kenya? When are you organizing again? Because me, I will be traveling in Kenyan time. I'll be coming back at 10 p.m. Today I was I went to check on my house. I went to do there some jobs and I felt it's like I was gymming. I did some work there. You can check that video out. I posted it. It was alive when I was doing some weeding, doing some watering some flowers, and sometimes you pay people and they don't do the work you want them to do. It's so painful. You pay people and it's not they are not doing the work. You have to go there and see. The video is there. You can check it out. But the problem is the video is for members. Members are the ones who know personal issues. Going to see your house, doing some things, those are personal issues. So the members are watching it. If you are a member, you can watch it. So have a nice day. I will stop there for today. Let's meet at 10. And we can do something at 10. Bye bye. See you guys.